Yeah, why is everyone always singing about me, right? People always say, all right, for those of you playing along at home, just by the way, here's the homework and the announcements for today. There's only 4 homework assignments this week. No homework Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. I know, don't get used to it. All right, let's use some random cards. Caroline, with that first inequality, what would you do to solve? So if we add 4 on both sides, so you're allowed to do whatever you want. So I will follow your guys' directions. If we add 4, we now end up with x plus 9 is less than or equal to 0. I don't know if that's what you meant to do, because we're trying to get the x by itself. So what you did, you're allowed to do. I just don't know if it helped get us towards our answer. You want to try again, or you want to throw it to somebody else? Arnya, what would you do here? Because we could do what Caroline said. It didn't get x by itself, but what would you do?
-5.
Why?
Because we're trying to get the x by itself and not, like the 4 isn't really doing anything to the x, but the 5 is adding to the x.
Yeah, we want to get the variable by itself, so to do so, get rid of the number with it, use that inverse operations, and do it on both sides. On both sides. All right, so then, Harrison, what would we do for the second one?
So you I don't know. Can I do the full fun? I don't know.
Sure, I can come back to you. Rowan, what would we do for the second one there? So guys, if you're rocky on any of these, you should be writing these down and writing down the work that we're doing. So what Rowan told us was add 15 on both sides, because this is a negative 15 or a minus 15. You should be writing this down. Since you didn't want to answer that for me, we should be writing it down to use our classmates' knowledge. And that would get x by itself. Careful, -6 plus 15, not 21, not -21, positive what? So trapdoor with the negative there, right? Little trapdoor, not a huge trapdoor. Our third one here, Nolan, what would we do with the third one? Sure, but remember to write it down if you don't want to give us the answer. Chase, do you know what to do here? With the third one? 4x. What 4x? What does that actually mean?
4 times x would be equal to or less than 12.
Yeah, so there's a multiplication here, right? So Chase, what do?
You divide 12 by 4.
We really divide 4 on both sides. But yeah, with the math we have to care about, right? But do not get in the habit of just saying we do it on that one side, because technically we're doing it on both sides. We get x is less than or equal to 3. Harrison, back to you, since you wanted to do the fourth one.
Well, it's a division, so so it's going to be more than 5, right? And
So what do we do to get rid of that divided by 25?
you multiply by 25?
Yeah. So on both sides, this is why Shama got a little annoyed at me. Did we talk about that in this class yet, or only the afternoon one? So we're doing times 25 on both sides. It wipes out that division by 25 to get x by itself. Nope. My symbol needs to face the way that it was facing. 125, I think. So hold on, pause here. That final answer we got. Think back to your I saw the signs activity when I wasn't here, which I was bummed about, because that activity looked fun. What answers are acceptable for this fourth problem? What answers would work? Caroline? Sure, 126. Carter? 2 million. Jack? 125.1.
3,400,376,126.
So if we were to graph this, if we want to stop Jack and Lydia competing against who can say a bigger number. Now, Jack, why did you say 125.1?
Because x has to be more than 125, not at least 125. This has to be more than 125.
So if I were graphing this, is 125 allowed to be my solution?
That would be minimum. So
Ooh, hold on. Is 125 allowed to be my solution?
No.
So we don't even actually call it the minimum. It's the boundary point. It's the boundary. Like, hopefully my dogs, we have a fence in the backyard. It's the boundary. Should my dog be on top of the fence? I hope not. There was a possum on top of the fence once. That was scary. So, but then we shade what we're allowed to have our answer be. Now, wait. What about the third one, though? I want you to try to draw a graph of this x is less than or equal to 3. Actually, let's do this yellow one, just so I can jump over across the page farther. I want you to graph this on your paper. Graph x is less than or equal to 9. How do we graph that on a number line? Anyone ever been in one of those situations where you're like just not tall enough for the roller coaster? Yeah, it's heartbreaking, right? But if you don't touch that little and that's when you got to get real proud and stand really tall and try to put some tissues in your shoe or something, right, to get that little extra.
Since it's less than an inch, you're probably gonna be fine.
If they really care about their insurance, you're not. If you don't make the cut, you don't make the cut. They don't let you ride.
I know. I'm saying it's less than an inch. You're fine. If you put some tissues in your shoe.
Oh yeah, to try to fudge it.
Safety reasons.
Eva, can you walk me through how we would graph this?
Since it has a line underneath, it would be closed or something.
Well, what would be closed?
The circle.
What circle? I need you to back up. I drew a line. Now tell me what to do.
Can I pass?
Sure. I can ask more questions if you want. You can pass. Totally fine. Lila, I drew a line. What do I do now?
Make a line in the middle and
Make a tick mark.
and then have a 9 over it.
The 9 is the important number. Over, under, I don't care. I like to put my numbers under the number line. It's just a me thing.
And then you want to circle it.
Then we want to circle it. I'm going to change colors just to make the shading really obvious. Okay.
And then if it, and then color it in because it's or equal.
Ooh, this or equal lets it color in and say, okay, 9 is allowed to be the answer. Which direction do I shade? Left. Because less than. And we put an arrow because we know -3,400,000,000 would work, right? It's any number farther than that 9, any number less. So 8 would work, but so would 8.9. So would 8.99. So would 9. 9 works here. 125 does not work here.
9.1 is not working.
9.1 does not work over here. But wait, there's a trap door. Turn to your neighbors. Neighbors, whichever. Try to solve these. Try to solve these. You may have seen this before, but I'm not certain. Anyone think they've seen this before and you know the trapdoor? Get out of the way, Hudson. That's what Kyrie is. Sign language. Actually, you might know sign language is the funny thing. Do you and your mom sign? Or no? Okay.
My mom just lips reads. Though she can't hear at all. She just.
I mean, that might be convenient when you start throwing parties. Your mom won't hear. If you're throwing a party in the basement, your mom won't hear.
No, she has 13% sound recognition, period, and 1% hearing actual sounds for words.
Wow, that's rough.
So what you're saying is if you throw a party down the basement, she would know.
No,
But
not hear the-
actually,
so get the vibration.
I was about to say the vibrations. This is what you don't realize because we hear things. If you turned off your hearing, you still feel the vibrations of the sound.
It is there. So she did say, you just said off the vibration.
No, my
All right.
mom doesn't yell. She just texts me instead.
So we got off on a tangent. I kind of want to hopefully at least check con in this class. Madeline, can you help me with what we would do with this first problem? Bless? It's like a stage snooze back there. What are you thinking?
I guess like you could divide -7 by 10, but that sounds by both sides.
Oh, yeah. So I think what you meant to say is we could divide by -7.
Yeah.
You just said it backwards. So we could do 10 divided by -7. Now, why were you saying like we could? Why are you thinking that's not the? Is it just because I warned you there's trapdoors here?
Well, no, like I know like when we were doing like each number, I like each number like divided by 10 or other way around.
Mm-hmm.
But the only one that our teacher never taught us was 7 because she
Oh,
always
well,
said it was really complicated.
Okay, so I just chose a kind of gross number. I get it, but okay. So Madeline says do that division. Grab a calculator, right? Because dividing by 7 is kind of a pain. It really is. Dividing by 7 is weird. What's 10 divided by -7? You could just use the fraction and say -10/7 if you put the negative on top, or -1.43 if we round. Now hold on. So x needs to be greater than -1.43. Hey guys, remember with greater? I know some of you over there probably can't see. Greater. If we're at -1.43, that's about like here, right? Where that clip is. Greater means above it, right? Not like, because some people think, well, bigger, it's a bigger negative. That doesn't mean greater. Greater means like more positive. Which one is high? So is 0 greater than -1.43? Yeah, so hold on, let's try this. -7 times 0 is bigger than but hold on, we said if 0's bigger than this, right? So we said x is allowed to be 0. Okay, so let's make x 0. And we plug it in. -7 times 0 is 0. Is 0 greater than 10? What the heck? This is the trap. Anyone know it? Jack, do you think you know it?
X is a negative.
Nope. We need x to be positive. We need our solution to be positive. Like, or not, we don't need the answer to be positive. We need the variable to be positive. What Madeline told me to do was right. Or, I forget who told me to divide by -7. Here's what happens. When, on both sides, you multiply or divide, because division really is multiplication, by a negative, it flips everything. Like that negative, that opposite, flips everything. So like what was positive becomes negative. What was negative becomes positive. And what was greater than becomes less than. This is wrong. You need to erase that or cross it out really dramatically. The inequality symbol flips if we multiply or divide by a negative. Who didn't read the words on the board?
Oh.
I knew you wouldn't because I moved so quickly. But we're recording, right? This is recorded. So if you need to go back and watch it, you can watch it again. Who gave me sass this one? CJ, I'm recording this for you. CJ emailed and she was like, if you record, because last time I was absent, you didn't record. And I was like, whoa. Feel a little attacked. So what was greater than becomes less than. Okay, so less than -1.43. Somebody give me something less than -1.43. Make it a nicer number. Kyrie? -2. Let's try that now. -7 times -2. What would -7 times -2 be? Positive 14. Is that bigger than 10? Yay! Try this one. Negative 14x greater than negative 3. You've got a couple more to try if you want, but guys, you've got to have an alarm in your head. When you multiply or divide by a negative, the inequality has to flip. Bless you. You guys, I could give you notes about this, but that's not more beneficial than you doing it and practicing it. Highlighting your notes. I love that as soon as I was about to say it, people were already doing it. Highlighting your notes would be a great idea, like right there to say, uh-oh, this negative causes problems. We gotta watch out because we have this negative. It's going to impact that. Kira, what would you like me to do with this one? You only need to give me one step.
Oh, okay. Multiply them 14.
Sorry, do what with what?
Multiply them? No, subtract the 15.
Let's back up a tiny bit. How would you read this? Negative 14. Negative 14. How's the negative 14 attached to the x? Anyone? Anyway, just shout it out. It's multiplication. If you need to write it with the dot, write it with the dot to remind yourself it's multiplication. How do we undo multiplication? Anybody? Division. So we want to divide by negative 14 on both sides. But when we divide by a negative, there should be an alarm in your head. Vivian, what else happens when we divide by that negative? And because I don't want to forget it, I should probably write it first. We're going to flip the symbol. So what was greater than, because, guys, I write that first. It's the first thing I write down once the alarm goes off in my head. Because otherwise I might forget and just get excited and be copying stuff down, click the wrong thing. Do it first. Do not give yourself the chance to forget. So now, okay, well this is just x. What's a negative divided by a negative? A positive. 3 divided by 14, that's going to be some decimal number. 0.0, what is it?
0.2, 0.21 rounded.
Sure-ish. Or, hold on, could I just type in my answer as 3/14? You betcha.
No, negative. Oh, it's positive.
Trap doors all over the place, Lydia. Watch your step.
Thought it, I wrote it, and I just didn't say it.
Roll for initiative.
Okay.
Joking. Do not pull out a die.
Come on.
Try those. You got 2 more. Try those. See if you and your partners can avoid those trap doors. I see some people actually wrote down like words on their paper. We need to flip the inequality symbol. Also, a few examples that you can look back to. These are directly what you might see on your homework. So also, even if you feel confident, you could have homework problems done. I would be willing to bet money you will see one of the problems we do in class today on your homework. It's just a probability thing. There's only like 20 or 25 in the database. You're likely going to see one of these because we're covering like 8 problems today. None, because I'm a poor teacher. I mean, like, I don't know that I would technically be considered, like, I just don't have lots of money, right? So I don't bet, like, my friend lost $20 yesterday betting on football. He had won more than that in previous weeks, but he made four $5 bets. Lost them all. I don't do that. I'm not willing to lose my money. I will spend my money. I don't want to lose my money. Now, if I was betting that somebody in this
Wait, why are you
class
saying something?
will see at least one of these problems, that I would bet on. There are
Like,
plenty of you, and I'm not going to bet with a non-adult. It is
We're
illegal
not
for you to
doing over.
gamble.
We're just doing 3 times negative 9 to negative 7.
It's not gambling, you're certain.
Because like in the second one that we did,
If you don't know what to do, you should be asking your partner. No, it's an end of class thing. Lydia,
yes.
help me out with this problem.
Well, it's x divided by -9.
Correct.
Multiply it by -9.
Where are we doing that?
On both sides.
So if you want to set it up like a fraction, you can remind yourself. We end up with -9 on top and bottom, canceling out. You don't have to set it up like a fraction. I'm just doing that to make sure we see why this happens. So, all right. Will, what else happens?
I don't know.
Lydia told us multiply by -9. When you decide to multiply by -9,
It's basically
what alarm goes off in your head?
the
Flip what? Flip the inequality.
triangle dude.
Inequality symbol. And now, what's positive times negative? Anyone? Negative 9 times 3. X would be less than or equal to -27. Aaron, what about this last one here? Even if you aren't done with it, what are we going to do? Multiply by -6. When you do that, Jack, what else do we need to remember to do? Because Aaron said multiply by -6.
On both sides.
And then we have like whatever alarm sound is in your head, whether it's like whoop, 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 right? There should be an alarm going off in your head. Hold up. We're working with the negative. Flip this. Could sound like the like British police cars, right? Where it's like, actually, I don't know if that's British anymore, but
Actually, whenever that movie, I get terrified because it sounds like 20%.
what's a negative times a negative? Positive. Watch out for these trapdoors. 20 times 6.
Negative 100.
Ooh, positive. Because negative times negative. Guys, I'm telling you, trapdoors everywhere. Gotta watch your steps. Questions? I'm trying not to go super fast. Just to let you guys know, also, fortunately, because we've kept the pace that I had planned, we will be playing Jenga on Wednesday. Quizzes Thursday, unit test, or quiz. There's only one more quiz for us today. A couple of us still need to do quiz 2, by the way. I think I put that in map, so if you are missing or progressing on quiz 2, either redo it or come see me. Let's try these. We're putting it all together now. I would try this one first. Before that one, I've chosen the order strategically if this one is slightly less difficult than that one. So work with your partner. Write this down. Talk it out with your partner. Make sure that you agree on what we should do first, what we should do next. If any alarm goes off in our head. If it's not necessary to go off in your head on this one. If you're at -71 and you do addition or subtraction, be careful because you're at a negative. Just gonna stare at the wall and wait for this to get done. Okay, at least you got it written down. I didn't see you had it written down.
Oh wait, no, but we're also doing. No, we are flipping. No.
I'm going to run this back for just a second. When we have a negative multiplier divided by your variable, that's when the sign ends up flipping. right?
So no. So we don't.
Talk it out with each other. I'm going to give you a couple minutes.
That's not a negative. Yeah.
First, let's start with
16x divided by negative. What? No, yeah, I got it. So so it's negative. So 71 divided by 16. What? I'm sorry. No, I need a calculator.
what do you think this is? Really thought this was
We figure out what's negative 71 divided by. Oh wait, no, don't do that yet. Negative 64 divided by 16. No, 64 divided by 16. We're gonna do that. Yeah. First. That's an easy exercise. That would be negative 4. Negative 64 divided by 16 is negative 4.
That's the opposite.
No, it's positive. It's positive, yes. Positive?
Jeremiah,
Where's the negative?
I'm worried to call on you since you had your head down back there. Ah, I thought you were just like, this is difficult, I'm going to quit and just put my... But I was very surprised, right? I didn't think that would be what's happening. All right, bring it back. Jeremiah, with this first equation, what do you want to do first? Now, you do have options, but there's a best first step. Minus 7. Y plus. This is a negative 7. It looks like minus 7. But we said, like, you can't do the minus. So we think of it as a negative, right? To get that to 0, we need to add 7 on both sides. Now hold up. Could you divide by 16 first? Yes, you could. But everything, the negative 7, the negative 7, everything would get divided by 16, and that doesn't make things any nicer. That's why you like getting rid of the constant first. You don't have to, but that's our preference. So then we have 16x less than or equal to, negative 71 plus 7 is not 78. It's negative 64. And then, Liam, what do we do with that 16x less than or equal to negative 64? Divide both sides, he said, by 16. Now, is there an alarm going off in my head? You fell right on. Here's a rope. Climb out of the trap door. Is what we divided by, is what was multiplying by, are either of those negative? No. It does not matter.
Please come to the Perry office. Aaron Sarkozy, please come to the Perry office.
It does not matter what number's over here, what number's on top. All that matters is what we are doing to both sides. Did we multiply or divide by the, not just with, but by, is what we did. This sign stays exactly how it is. And that's why we're practicing these problems, and hopefully you wrote it down. That one does not have a trap door. I don't know what's going on with my little border frame thing. Ooh, yeah, the trap door is that there is no trap door. So then x is less than or equal to what? What? Negative 4. Because we have one negative involved. All right, Kyrie, What would you want to do first here?
Skip.
Carter. What if I was only going to let this go 2 skips. What is this first number? Positive 12, right? What's with the x? Negative 6. What if I write it like this? What if instead of 12 minus 6x, I do negative 6x plus 12? Now, Caroline, any chance you're willing to help me and not skip for a third person in a row?
Skip. Take away 12 from each side.
Take away 12 from each side. Now, I could have done that up here too, just with the positive 12. I could have just said minus 12, but people seemed like they were afraid of it. So we might as well make it less scary. We've made a full lap of the class, as we can tell. Arnya, what would we do now?
You would divide it by -6.
We would divide by, say that louder and slower.
-6.
We divide by -6. Whoop, 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 whoop. I need like a button that I can hit to be the alarm sound. What we did, the division we did, is involving the negative. We now need to flip this sign. X is less than what? -2. Careful, trapdoors everywhere. Questions? Bro, the clock is right above you. Seriously, if you want to not make teachers happy, tell them how much time we have left. Because what ends class? Do we have bells? What ends class? I do. I also like to try to end my class that's before lunch early, but if you guys really don't want me to, I guess I don't have to. Tatiana wants to give everyone bracelets. Because Tatiana's an awesome friend. So, she wants to give her 32 classmates each a bracelet. She's already made 5. Alright, she can buy more in packages of 4. This is like getting into tomorrow's homework, but I just wanted to fit in as much as I could today. So, I want you and your teammate to write and then solve an inequality to match this situation. Ask, what do we already have? What are we adding or subtracting to the situation? What gets the variable? What is our total? Do we have to land exactly on our total? Or could we be more than that total? Could we be less than that total? Talk about all these details. According to Jack, we have less than 5 minutes left. Yes?
So when she's giving these friendship bracelets, is she included in the total number, or does she need an extra?
No, so 32 is our number that we're trying to get to. How is she getting more? Would she want less than enough or more than enough? P is our packages. Yes.
So how many packages?
She's already got 5 bracelets. She's just got them. Then she's going to buy some more to be able to give them out to her class. And can you imagine if our class was 32 kids?
I can.
Dude, make this class times 1.5. Right? Well, but in this room, I guess I can I could teach 30 kids, but in this room, I feel like 30 kids would be very crowded. Talk it out. Come to a conclusion.
No, it is 40. Okay, yeah.
So we're gonna do 32 minus.
Harrison, how many bracelets does she have at the start?
5.
5. Rowan, how is she getting more bracelets? She's buying packs of 4, so how do I write that?
Pardon the interruption. May we please have Zara Merchant to
Nolan,
the Perry office?
what inequality symbol should I use
Zara
here?
Merchant to the Perry office.
Greater than. Does she need to go past 32? Or could she equal 32? She could equal, so we want greater than or equal to 32. Now, I always like to have extra, so I'd probably plan on overshooting my target. But if you just hit your target, that's okay. So then to start solving this, Chase, what would I do to both sides? What? Divide by 4 right now? Will? Subtract 5. Yeah, get rid of that constant first. So now 4p is greater than or equal to 27. Now, Chase, what do we do? Yeah, now we divide by 4. P is, okay, please. P is greater than or equal to
6.75.
So then if I go to graph this, now guys, I don't know how much ordering you've ever done, but can you actually order 6.75 packages? So although it is a solution for us, how many packages does she really need to order at least?
7.
Yeah, she needs 7, or 8, or 9, or 10, but you can't really order 6.75 packages. Have a great day.
I don't think she did either. I also don't think that she was able to order up to so
Oh, you can try. Sorry, Jack, what'd you say?
She can order it.
I heard my name, but I was listening to Lydia. Oh, thank you. You too.
She can order it. I don't think she gets it. But she could order 400.
Thanks. Awkward to hear a kid say my first name, but
Wait, what?
thanks. Carter just said, "Have a great day, Micah," and just awkward.